Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Zero Authority is a community of people who believe in open source and permissionless systems built on stacks and secured by Bitcoin. So today we're going to do a little bit of a different take. Today we're only going to talk about Zero Authority, what our DAO is, what our mission is, what we're building, and some of the new marketplace Cerulean that we're going to release here soon. And before we get into that, most importantly, James, how are you doing today, brother?
Yeah, doing great. It's a great Friday over here on the East Coast, and yeah, super excited to get to kind of share and pull back the curtain for all those people that are going to be watching and watching in the future, just what we've been up to and where we're going to be headed.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. This is more of a Zero Authority community update. Just let you know what are we focused on, what are we building, and before we even like jump into what we've been building, if you haven't had a chance, James put out this really great tweet thread on the future of work and some of the past things about work where we were organized, how we used to organize, and now we're coming into this digital economy. What could the future of work look like? So, James, just can you give us some background on how you're thinking about the pseudo-anonymous economy going forward, and what about the past of work?
Yeah. I think ever since really like the Industrial Revolution, we've kind of grown. People used to take their skills and they would kind of be able to have a niche in maybe a small town or even a city, and they were able to showcase those skills, and people would come to them, and people could kind of work kind of by themselves to themselves. And then we had the Industrial Revolution happen, and factories took off, and people started becoming more so employees as opposed to kind of operators or owners in their own right. And ever since then, it's become more and more to a situation where we're kind of continuously working in a lot of corporate settings, and people's skills and their talents aren't fully able to shine through. And we have the all this new technology and all these new ways that we can put things together and bring people together. And it just seems as though we're operating on kind of an old business model, an old way of how to carry out work. And I believe that with the way things are heading, with the ability to integrate smart contracts into our economy and the development of just this whole space, that in the future we'll be able to maybe kind of return to, in some ways, the distant past, where your skills will be able to shine through, but on a global scale, and you'll be able to earn and grow your reputation online without having to kind of log in 40 hours a week and kind of work the corporate grind. You'll be able to be kind of an individual, and all of your individual skills will be able to shine through. And so, yeah, we think that's kind of hopefully what the pseudonymous economy will look like. And with all that said, for those that that's just kind of a buzzword for you. The pseudonymous economy is something that Balaji had talked about a while ago. I think even at a Stacks summit. And so, it's something that you and your reputation will be able to be kept track of on the blockchain, and your work history and your work product. But you don't necessarily have to give up all of your information, your age, where you live, your whole everything you include on your resume today. And you're really what shines through is your work product, what you're able to provide, and your reputation, what you've been able to provide in the past. And I feel like that's kind of a meritocracy, and that's something we should strive for.
I also think too, and you and I, we talk a lot, and we talk to creators and founders building in Web3, whether they're in Stacks, whether they're in Ethereum, whether they're Bitcoiners, whether they're building on Cardano. We talk to everyone, whether they're building on Solana, and I would highly encourage, if you are wondering, what is the pseudonymous economy and what is Balaji talking about? Right now, everyone is talking about the network state, his newest book, and it's a lot of people are really thrilled with the ideas. And I think of Balaji as, if Elon is a Thomas Edison of our day, I think Balaji will probably end up somewhere as like the Aristotle of our day. I think he's just really early. Not a lot of people know who he is, but he isn't known across the globe as this deep philosophical thinker of technology, culture, and geopolitics. So, but he writes tremendously and gives you this perspective about the world that not many, only a handful of people can think like this and can can synthesize it into this written context where you actually read it, it makes sense. So the network state is just, you fast forward into the future where everything is ran by code. And if we think about the blockchain nations, and each blockchain is its own nation state and the economy that it represents, and how cities can organize around the concept of code, that's where you get into this future. And to bring it back to Zero Authority, when we started, and James was here early, and we're the co-founders, and we think of ourselves as core contributors because this is truly a community driven tool and community. We have a number of folks, whether it's Mariaverse or Kenny the Rogers or Algorithm or Rafa or Advisor, or I saw some comments and some threads from Dark Wayne. He was doing the Bitcoin pizza in Senegal, or whether it's Akva doing Bitcoin pizzas down in Brazil. This community is this fabric of different culture and different people coming together. So when we started Zero Authority, we were just here to amplify the voices of creators and this new creator economy. Creators are any people participating in Web3, even Web2. And whether you're on the content creation side, whether you're a developer, whether you're doing smart contract audits, I think this idea of a creator is going to be applied to anyone that is doing any type of work that's going to be recognized in Web 2 and Web 3. And so we eventually came to the idea that we are building this, we're having conversations with people from across all demographics and regions. And the thing about crypto, it's it's universal, but it's also across all time zones. So it isn't regional. It's truly global and probably universal. I'll say Bitcoin is, at least. And and what I was going to say is that what we found is that if we could build this marketplace where people can get paid in crypto, then this would also be our contribution as Zero Authority to the pseudonymous economy that Balaji talks about. There's going to be many DAOs built on Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana and other chains, but we believe, because Stacks is building on Bitcoin, Bitcoin is going to be sound money for the future, and it may end up being the world's reserve currency one day. But we believe if we're building on top of that for this new paradigm shift and this new behavioral trend, people do want to earn in crypto. So, Huddle, with that being said, can you talk about just some of the inputs and ideas that we had before we built out Cerulean?
Yeah. So Cerulean, right now, this is our zero point 0.1 version. Of course, we're going to be iterating and building it over time and all of that. But yeah, when we were working out kind of how we kind of wanted the workflow and what we wanted to add to it, it was really, we wanted to bring parties together. And you can think about it like there's quite a bit of people that have all kinds of different talent stacks in the Stacks ecosystem, and they right now someone might post something in Discord, hey, could you guys do this for our DAO, or could you do this for our NFT project? And you're not getting the reach, and two, it'll get lost in the ether. And before you know it, you're still looking for the work to be done, and you might be passing it off to somebody where you might not get the best quality, or maybe it doesn't get done, it gets put on the back burner. So what we really wanted to do was to provide a nice seamless way for people to put up their talents, show off what they really can do, and from there, communities like NFT projects, DAOs, DeFi, or even like the Stacks Foundation, or Stacks Ventures, or even other community members might be interested in carrying out that work. So like we said, it could be anything from someone that wants them to make a meme for their project, or someone that all the way to someone wanting to build out smart contracts and do some really difficult coding solutions. So there's kind of something here for everybody, I would hope. And this, I think one of the other things that this should help as well is all of these projects can then focus their efforts on what they are particularly just exceptional at, and then they can hire people to come in to kind of fill in the gaps for them as they need it. And so that should really be a good flywheel to get things building and to have more progress.
And today too, why we see this as being able to solve some really cool problems in the space is, I mean, right now you can find some people on LinkedIn, you can find people on Upwork and Fiverr, but to be a crypto native and be able to implement crypto into this process and the solution that we think will benefit all parties. And Huddle Stacks and I, James, we talk about all the time. If I can't wait for someone to tell us and be able to post on Twitter or our community on Discord that I provided a service and I got paid in crypto. I might have just made 50 stacks, or I made some XBTC, or someone paid me in Miami coin, but I did it. And this was my first this was my first opportunity to ever earn crypto for doing something. I would just love to hear those stories. I would love to share those stories too, and have people come on to talk about how they're earning crypto and what they're going to do next, and how they're going to encourage others. So with that being said too, when we look into the future and we have smart contracts creating this opportunity as well, where Zero Authority, the marketplace, is operating with a full integration of the hero wallets and smart contracts, where someone in a community can say, hey, and maybe we may have token gating. So if you only want to work with, let's say, ape holders or monkey holders, or let's say you want to only work with some people in the Mentory that have this NFT as this community, we can gate that access to, and even like partner with friends later. Another potential partnership that we have scratched the surface on with John and NeoSwap is, what if people in our marketplace we have multiple parties, and you can use stacks, you can use some NFTs, or you can trade services. So imagine a NeoSwap, a swap party with actual services provided. That would be pretty cool. Like, there are some people who need, let's say, like educational content, but and they may not be great with that stuff, but they may be a developer and they can trade that service later, or something like that. Or you bring some other people into that party, into that mix, and you can trade some NFTs with some stacks, with some XBTC and Miami coin, and you still get rewarded for the service going to be provided, and you get to provide a service, and someone else got something that they wanted. So there's so many cool things later that we're thinking about inviting others in the community to hack away, build something on top of this protocol. And this is just the beginning. Like you said, James, this is 0.1 version. We don't have a native Web3 login today, but if you're when you come here and once we start having the profiles built out, you'll be able to see a directory. Okay, who are the people that are better at performing this service or providing the service today? Right now, if you want to find someone who's great with memes, you have to search you have to search the you have to search GitHub, you have to search Discord, you have to search Twitter, and it's just not a great experience today. So what we do want to eventually be able to do is have people come in, provide a service, and then from there we'll get some feedback to say, okay, is this something that's going to be a valuable service? Do people actually see this as wanting to use it for their own communities or just like a global view? So there's so many ways, and we're just going to start with the basics. And as far as someone providing a service and someone looking for a service, so today we're using block survey, and if you provide a service, you can fill that out. You can also you can log in as a creator and put your profile on the directory here. So if you're wanting to do that, let's just show you a quick example. Are we ready for a demo, James?
Yeah, this aspect should work. Yeah.
Okay. And Kenny and Maria Verts and James, you guys have been awesome to help us get up and running, and so just super appreciative. So let's get the magic link here. I'm gonna log in. Okay. So let's edit the profile. So I'm gonna put my name here, and again, you could put your avatar, your real name, your pseudonym. Upload your avatar, whatever you want that picture to be. Include your Stacks address. Where once we get a handle of people are coming in and people are providing updates, update your profile. What service would you like to provide? Even if you're not a true expert in something and you want to gain expertise and you have some knowledge, at least mark it as something that you provide, and it'll go a long way, because then people actually can find you, reach out. And James, before I move on from this from the profile, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So first and foremost, we do believe in good privacy and things of that nature. So like provide whatever email that you can to get started here. But what we really want, put down your Stacks address, and this will be your Stacks address. That over time, this is where your work history is going to be compiling up. So think about that. Try and plan accordingly. I recommend people not to try and create multiple profiles for different forms of work or anything like that, because over time your reputation and work history should build from all of this and the services you provide, and so you'll be a much more like unique candidate and have different skill sets and things, and so that should help you over time to kind of have that on one Stacks address. And then you don't have to provide your Discord handle or your Twitter handle if you would not like to. And yeah, with that said too, if there's services that you offer that aren't on this list, let us know. We're just going to keep adding to the list, making it pretty easy. And so this will be how it'll work now. And so the how the 0.1 version, how this will work is you'll have the ability, when people click on the different categories, they'll be able to see you if you provide that service. And please only click it if you actually are going to provide that service, because we're going to there's going to be serious inquiries. So
Yeah, and that's a good call out, because once you provide that, these tags here are going to be related to that search ability. So right now in this MVP and getting feedback, we're going to see, okay, are people looking for smart contract auditors? Are they looking for people who provide some music services or gaming, or do they do newsletters? So, but yeah, if you do feel comfortable enough to say that you can do something in that arena, and again, you don't have to be an expert, but we're looking for people to start to say, hey, I do have some experience in that. At the very least, later, much later down the road too, and you'll see a couple of things that can be bundled, right? So later, when we get into project work, you may say, I want to create instead of just purchasing this one service, I want to purchase a project. So I may want to get a bundle. I may want to find a person who's a developer, an NFT artist, and someone who is good with marketing and can be my ambassador, and I'll bundle that together. Or I may want to do a bug bounty with someone who's on the content marketing side and can create a blog, or do some blog posts and tweets with a podcast and a Twitter space. And so we'll think about that later down the road. But right now, when people are coming in, when you provide a service, this economy is going to continue to grow. And obviously, we have launched the Zero token, and we've put just a little bit of the total supply out there, because we do believe that the community should have the first opportunity to get the best price regardless. And so that is out there. But one thing we're thinking about long term is how can we have a sustainable and consistent tokenomics. So if you're coming into the protocol, participating, either you're looking for a service and you initiate that, or you're providing a service, we know we do want to reward those efforts with the Zero token, and that's going to be the governance token. So we'll be able to vote on proposals. So we're planning for that future. We're planning for the right now, getting this marketplace up and running. And one other thing I would like to say is that there's been a huge community effort and push. I would be remiss if I didn't mention just how much positive feedback that we get from the community, whether it's Stacks Degens, or the Bitcoin birds, or it's Crash Punks, or the Bitcoin pizzas, people that we work with and partner with, like Dan from Boom Wallet, Frieger, and all of the companies in cohort 2. Everyone has been so supportive, and we I just can't tell you how appreciative and amazing. I was just messaging with Maria Verse this morning. I was messaging with Rick from Stacks, and he does all the content, and I'm always blown away how kind everyone is, how approachable everyone is. So you always have that from us, from James and I. We promise to try to live uh, the the mission and the ethos of Stacks as best we can, and our DMs are always open as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to add too, with a little bit of the ethos of the marketplace here, and where we're going to be going with it is, all of your work history and the work product that you create here, and your kind of reputation and all that. We want that to be portable. We want that to be something that you can take with you. And Jamil and the people over at Gamma, they're working on profiles for folks here in the Web3 space, and so we'd love to be able to have this data be an addition to people's profile, and they can take it with them and showcase it however they'd like, with any future projects coming down the road. So we always try and live by that, and trying to and that's just kind of like with the token launch and everything else that we try and do. We're trying to do right by the community. We want to build something that's going to last a very, very long time and be scalable, and something that's built for the long haul, not kind of a flash in the pan. So if you're going to be working somewhere, or we're using a platform to work, we want to be kind of a stable component in a growing and kind of blockbustering ecosystem. So
I think that's a good point too, because we on our site we will have finalized the light paper and just explain our values and our core beliefs, and it aligns with Bitcoin, it aligns with Stacks. We do want to eventually be able to decentralize this protocol. We want to be able to also, we should never be in right now early on through this MVP version. Yes, we are collecting minimal amount of data. We don't own that, so we're going to purge all of that once we're ready for the Web3 versions. But with that being said, we never want to be in a position where we own your data, or we own something that we shouldn't of yours. We definitely believe in the power of decentralization, permissionless, and open source, and that's our promise to the community. And even with the token, we were on the fence about launching that, but we did feel like we should be in a position where the community should have access and be able to capture that value at the best prices to start off, because we're all experimenting, we're all doing this together. We should always be responsible and should never take it for granted that these protocols are experiments at the end of the day, and be able to explain the risk. We're seeing right now with the whole blow up of CFI that we have the responsibility to explain that these things are risky, and they don't with certainty and 100% always work out. So I do think it's worth mentioning this is still an experiment. We don't know if this is going to work. We don't want to take advantage of anyone. We always want to explain that there is a risk to this. So one other thing too, I was going to say, Jamil and the team there, Nick and I think Sarah, they do a really great job on some innovations. And uh, one thing that we have started to talk about is reputation. We were talking to Orlando last week from Stacker DAO, and we talked to Chris from Console and Multisafe, and this idea of reputation is starting to really grow, and it's around the concept of decentralized identities. We do believe that our marketplace should be able to contribute to your reputation in your communities in which you participate. So if you do some work in Cerulean marketplace for Zero Authority, you should build that reputation. People should see that you are doing these things. The Web 2 model of LinkedIn, where, hey, you can see my past history of work, and maybe I make some posts about some things and topics that I'm interested in. I think that's been great, and it has facilitated this whole different work culture and platform specific to social engagement for work. We do believe we're coming into this new paradigm shift with, if you participate in this marketplace and we have this community and you have reputation that you can start to attribute and build over time, well then this new way of like social work and like the social engagement of work, instead of like talking about the topics that interest you related to work, what you'll be able to do now is say, I've actually participated in these projects. Here's my link to Discord, Twitter, GitHub, and I can actually show you the things that I'm working on because they're all open source. And later we may integrate with the communities across Stacks to build out this reputation, or we may partner with someone else who decides to build this version of like this Web3 social engagement for work, because we do believe with Web3, not only you can see the projects that I've worked on, but you can also ask others that I've worked with, and other people that I'm a part of this community. So I do think Jamil and team, they do a great job with their own the community and utilizing the .btc names, because this is really cool that you can go and see anyone in the community that has the NFTs.
Yeah, and we talk about it too, where it's I think I was complaining to you about how like I wish LinkedIn was more about showing the work that they do as opposed to like the work articles they like, or like the kind of engagement farming that occurs on there. I we kind of were talking about how cool it would be to have kind of like a GitHub profile, but for all types of work, where people can show off their contributions. And so I think that might be something that if we get good traction and all, that might exist here in the future, which would be really cool. Just to be able to kind of show off your Web3 profile, your portfolio of work, and yeah, you'll be able to use that, carry it with you everywhere, and hopefully that like Zero said, that if we can have a situation where there's people that are using this and they say, hey, this helped pay my electric bill, or this helped pay my car payment, or something like that every month, that would just be incredible. So
Yeah, I think so. And then looking towards the next phase of what we want to do is once we get people coming in, we're going to be able to see, okay, what are people finding this valuable? First of all, does this actually solve a problem? Do people want to expand the service and the capabilities? Then from there, we'll have enough data to at least know this is a viable option. So what we're thinking next is what we'll be able to do is, let's see here. Let me
yeah,
share
we're
my screen again. Go ahead, James.
oh yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna give you guys a sneak peek into what 0.2 might look like. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 0.2, because it'll still be pretty rough, but um, it'll be a nice flow regardless. So as you can see, the home. This is the home screen. So just this is the mock-up, right? So pretend it's the same version, and someone's looking for a service searches, right? So right now today, when you click on the tags here, you can see you'll be able to see profiles. So let's say you see a profile come up, and then you'll be able to see more information. Okay, let me check out what they're building and what they're doing, and we'll add links to GitHub and even like dev 2 later. And if you're wanting to go forward because you believe this person can really help you, your project or whatever service they provide, you can make an offer. That offer can be at a fixed rate or a milestone, and whatever you decide, it's going to have an easy to understand flow, info details, some extra contract information, and confirm. You'll be able to select the dates, and then you confirm it. Then once you confirm it, the person will have to go into once they log in with their Hero wallet, they'll be able to see, okay, there's some pending offers. Let me review. Should I accept? So it's pretty straightforward right now, and we're just going to focus on one thing at a time. So this is how it may look in the future, in the coming months, once we get some good data coming in. So I just wanted to give everyone just a sneak peek into what we're thinking, and if you guys have any thoughts too, please always reach out to us as well. James, any thoughts here?
yeah, it's and so hopefully the beauty of this is it's going to streamline work. It's going to make it easy for people to know exactly what you're getting. What you might try and do something on Fiverr or Upwork, and maybe it's not so clear, and you're worried about how all of it's going to work out. Our goal is to have a superior product to all of those, and you're going to have a better pool of people to pick from, because you have people that understand kind of the intricacies of Web3 and what this is all about too. And so, oh, and one other thing I wanted to add from a while back that popped in my head was, if you're listening to this, this is incredibly early, and so if you have a certain set of skills that you want to offer, I would say it is a pretty good opportunity where you could kind of become a expert in certain areas, and kind of be the leader in some of these certain categories. And this could give you an opportunity to really kind of launch pad what you might want to do later. And so people that are early to these type of marketplaces, they always receive quite a bit of benefit because they're the ones that become the experts in the field, and people gravitate to those generally. So just maybe a little opportunity out there for folks.
Yeah, I do think too, and obviously we're going to have some initiatives to grant people that are early contributors and helping to get us up and running and testing and being vocal about referring people to come in. We're going to have the opportunity to give some emissions out for those early adopters for the zero governance token. Um, Later, what we want to do to, once we finalize those tokenomics, is be able to be in a position where people have, if they want to submit proposals, like what they're doing on within the mega DAO right now, there's a community proposal where you can launch it through Stacker DAO. And once we're up and running and people want to submit community proposals, we would love that. We would love for people to come in and say, hey, what would be really great? I've told people to use this. I'm using it, and I'd love to see this feature prioritized and built. And that would be really cool. And we'd love for the community to get involved, and we'd love for people that own the zero token to be able to vote on these proposals, and we'd be love to carry them out too.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be exciting seeing all the different, because there's a lot of work, like we talked to the Stacks on Chain folks, right? And they have those dashboards, and we could easily see a situation where a protocol might want a dashboard built, and that could be a whole service in of itself. And there's all kinds of different niches that can develop. And this economy is going to grow. The more people that are in it, there's going to be more interest in doing all sorts of different things. And so yeah, getting in here and being able to kind of link up, and hopefully one day what this will be able to do too is the projects that align with your thinking, what you really like, you'll be able to dedicate some time and work to work on those. You can be, hopefully in the future, this will allow people that have certain skill sets to be picky with what they work on, and only work on things that kind of really get them out of bed in the morning.
Another thing, and this is probably way off into the future, but and when I say way off, I probably mean a year or two if this was implemented. But because everything is on chain data is still very early. A lot of people don't even realize you can pull wallet addresses and wallet balances for all Bitcoin wallets or Stacks wallets and Ethereum wallets. So a lot of people are still unfamiliar, but because this will be on chain, what this allows you to see is what kind of work in Web3 is one, either more valuable or less valuable, or what work is not being done as well. So if you're a meme master and you're early into the marketplace and you build that reputation, well, guess what? People are going to go to you. So like I remember when Advisor was starting off and jumped into Zero Authority and wanted to really get in and learn, and he came in with a great attitude, started writing some tweet threads, and next thing you know, his tweet threads are being shared by the whole community, and people want him to continue to write on their protocols or about their decentralized apps. So he can provide that service, and and it's a trustless way now, right? Because right now the problem is, if I want to find someone and then pay them in stacks or XBTC, it's such a hassle to message them and then go back and forth. But with this marketplace, we can get together, we can get the details of what we're agreeing to, and in a trustless way, we have smart contracts that can really operationalize this, and the contract is on chain, so we don't have to trust each other. So when I'm looking for a service and I initiate that contract to look for someone, so let's say in that flow I create the milestone contract, that's going to be recorded on chain. The collateral is going to be held by smart contract, and if you fulfill your obligations, well then it's going to the collateral will be released to the person that fulfilled the work. If there is a dispute right now, it's either going to be decided internally with the Zero Authority core team, but eventually that will be decentralized as well, and there will be validators that can review the disputes, and then there will be other validators who review those decisions that were made. So we're going to come into this completely decentralized way of this way to work in Web3. And I wouldn't even say it's a new way. It's human behaviors are changing. People are wanting to work for DAOs. We're going to see it more and more by the end of this decade. That this person, I remember watching, I think Koopa Troopa. He was on different crypto podcasters, but he was one of the early people that have worked for many DAOs, and he got paid in these different tokens. So we fully expect people to come here, get paid in all kinds of various ways, whether it's XBTC, STX, Miami Coin, Alex, or Deco. There's various ways to get paid, or even with a combination of all the above. You have that choice, you have that freedom and flexibility. So it's about sovereign individuals taking their choice into their hands and participating in DAOs, working in Web3, and being able to get their foot in so they can fully transition to something else later.
Yeah, that's one thing too. Is you do see a lot of people. They're like, um, I think a lot of them are going. It's such a immediate shift from working a 9 to 5 in kind of a traditional way, and they're going, okay, how can I transition to Web3? How can I get into this? And right now it's kind of like the path isn't very clear on how to do that, and then there's still a lot of risk and there's still a lot of worry, and so hopefully the pseudonymous economy may provide a way for people to they can earn some more, they can dip their toe into Web3, and they can kind of showcase their skills, and then before you know it, maybe they're learning a good income, and they can feel like they can transition. Maybe they can build themselves, and then they can be using the marketplace to help fill in some holes with their own project. So that's kind of a future that I'd love to see happen.
Yeah, I think so. And before we depart here, let just want to summarize where we are, where we're going, and then just kind of talk about where we've been. We really think Web 2 has set up this future for the digital economy. Web 3 is the democratization of ownership in a digital world. We're seeing that Web 2 has been great in various ways, and it has really been a catalyst to get us to this point. Now, these platforms owning all of our data, that's not great. So that is a shift in culture and society happening now, when we should go, and this is what we're going back to, is ownership. That will own our money, will own our data. I mean, even right now, if your money is sitting in a bank, or if it's sitting in Celsius or Voyager, technically you don't even own it, because it's not held with you. It's not held in your own wallet. So we're seeing that play out as well. And so this new paradigm where people are going to work in various ways, either with DAOs, and we think too, like if you're working within a DAO, you can use Cerulean Marketplace to work with each other, have this trustless way of a contract, and it's not to say that we don't trust each other. That's why we have to use the marketplace. It's just a more efficient way to do this type of work, and also do it in a way where we don't have to trust one another, because that's the whole idea of Bitcoin and crypto and stacks and Web3, is that these smart contracts exist so we can use them and create these efficiencies. So that's where we're going right now. This is super early. These things are really experimental. This is version 0.1. We're barely we're well into the roadmap. Obviously, we're going to continue to be a part of the community. We're going to continue to reach out to folks and get them on the live stream or on our Monday Twitter Spaces. We just Huddle Stacks and I love this. Everyone in Zero Authority loves these kind of conversations, so that won't stop. But what we are going to continue to do is build and iterate, see what value everyone is getting, and so I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. I tell you, yeah, anyone that's going to be, listening to this now, listening to this later, please, if you're interested in joining, hop on zeroauthority.xyz and get on there, fill out the block survey. There's two ways to do it. You fill out the block survey, or you can go and do the magic link and then go from there. So you have two ways to kind of join now and give us some baseline info. And this is kind of at this stage, it's kind of like a directory, so people will be able to see that you're kind of one of these people in the space that is willing to provide these. And over time we'll be adding more and more functionality for you guys and making it easier and easier for you guys to work with one another. And we don't think that we're going to be solving the future of all work and how it's going to be happening. We think that hopefully we'll just be a component of all of that. But if it can help make everyone's lives a little bit easier and a little bit better, that's what we're aiming to do. And to do it, I truly believe that something like this will happen, and the fact that it can happen with sharing Bitcoin and Stacks ethos, I think that's just would be exceptional, because there's no guarantees when it comes to someone else building this on a different chain or a different product, where you might not get those same ethos to glean through. So
yeah, and last thing too, with the block surveys, if you're looking for a service right now, we don't have any functionality or features planned. So what we are asking you to do, if you're looking for a service, go ahead and just fill this information out. Fill out whatever information you think is best. We'll need your STX wallet address, and if you say what are you looking for, this is really going to help us, so we know on a two-sided marketplace what we can expect from the other side. So we know there is demand to find people and find talent, but right now we don't quite know what the demand is and what the need specifically is for. So if you can help us craft that message and just show us what you'd like to see as far as services, who you are, and we'll be able to take this information and then in version 2.0 be able to integrate the Web3 wallets, be able to have the two-sided marketplace up and running. So the logic that we build, people will be able to find the things that we need. And those services are dynamic. So right now they look static, but they are very dynamic. We fully, James and I and Zero Authority and Stacks and many people expect that the needs of DAOs and communities are going to continue to evolve, change, and grow. So like that mention that you had, James, that was great. We've talked to Carl many times from Stacks on Chain. what he's built there is just truly awesome because it gives people the ability to see the on-chain data in a way that looks like very Web 2 because we don't today we don't have a lot of primitives built in and functionality. So this visualization of data is going to be the future, and people. So, like for example, you may want later to find someone who can create these dashboards for you. So we have worked with Carl to put out a message that hey, if you want to find someone that can build you a dashboard, you can find them in the marketplace, and later on they'll what we'll be able to do with our partners and working across the ecosystem is you can fully integrate the marketplace into your websites as well and your protocol. So so you won't have to always navigate to our website. And even later you'll have the APIs as well. So you won't even have to interact with the platform. You can push the data, find the people that you want and you need. And so we're on this path. We're super stoked for what the future of this could be. In general, Web3, it's going to work. Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. Stacks isn't going anywhere. Ethereum isn't going anywhere. All of these blockchains, especially Stacks, we only launched last year. So the chain and the communities, it's growing, and it's just so great to be a part of this. And before we depart, James, do you have any final words here?
Yeah. One more thing that popped in my head too is that when it comes to working in this two-sided marketplace, some of the deliverables they might not necessarily be tangible. It could also be you are providing a service. Maybe you're providing some tokenomics advice, or you guys have a Zoom call and someone checks out your portfolio for you, or there's all kinds of different things that could really come from this. But yeah, we're building. We're trying to build out in the open, and for all the people that are in the DAO that are helping along the way, we're very appreciative. I tell you, there's so much talent within the Stacks ecosystem. There's just a lot of people that are just grade A quality. I mean, they have the talent, but they're also just grade A quality people, and it's so nice to be able to work amongst them. And it's a great pleasure, and we keep on. We're just going to keep on keeping on and hopefully building things that people in the community need, and will help bring the community forward.
Absolutely. So before we depart, on Monday, we're going to have a Twitter space and we're just going to riff on some ideas. It's going to be a really relaxed conversation. If you get a chance on YouTube, you can look at all of the cohort 2 pitches, and that's going to be on Stacks, on their Stacks channel. So please check that out. There's some upcoming events. I know something later too that we're going to start talking about more Stacks 2.1. So that the fork is coming, the release is coming, and it's going to be a significant upgrade for some of the protocol and underlying infrastructure. I mean, there's going to be like one change is like continuous stacking. So when you stack for 6 cycles, you have to wait one cooldown period. You won't have to do that anymore. There's a series of other changes coming that's really going to hyper changes coming. So the ability to have faster transactions and throughput is coming, and it's just there's so many positive things happening in crypto, in Web3, and Stacks, and I'm just excited to see Stacks 2.1 come. All right, James, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being in the trenches with me, sir, and thank you to everyone in the Zero Authority community. Thank you to everyone in Stacks Ventures, Trevor, Jake, Kyle, Andrea. Oh, thank you to Albert and the Founders Lab. If you guys have a chance and you're wanting to to validate your ideas for your startup, Founders Lab is really great, and you can find their link on Twitter. And if you find them, you can find Albert, BTC underscore Albert, and then he has a link to Web3 Startup Lab. It's a really phenomenal program. There's a lot of talent coming out of it's a pre-accelerator, so they give you an opportunity to validate some ideas, join and be a part of the ecosystem. It's some good stuff. And then with that, I'm just so thankful to be here with everyone building together in the public. And James, any final words?
Oh no, that's all. Everybody enjoy your weekend, and yeah, really appreciate people for tuning in, and yeah, hope everyone has a good Friday and a good weekend. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, Zero.
Thanks so much, James. Appreciate you, man. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Zero Authority is a community of people who believe in open source and permissionless systems. Thanks for supporting the community. Remember why you started.